welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about one of my most absolute favorite things in the whole entire world, which is hatchling tortoises. We're going to talk a little bit about their care in the beginning stages of their life and a little bit about how we bring them into the world through captive breeding. So I hope you enjoy. Please leave any questions, comments, or concerns down below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
So firstly, we get really lucky in Florida because the redfoot tortoises do so well here outdoors especially, and our subtropical climate is close enough to their native ranges in South America that they really thrive outdoors here. We do bring them in when it gets below about 55 degrees, but they can tolerate a lot in most of the climate here. So the first step to breeding these tortoises is obviously having an adult pair. Now this can be a quite long investment because they don't get sexually mature until they're much older. So it really depends on size, not age, when it comes to tortoises and when they're sexually mature to mate. So here you have a pair of our redfoot tortoises that have been mating and producing fertile eggs. So we kind of just let them do their own thing, and it's seasonal when they start to mate, and it's seasonal when they start to lay their eggs as well. But it does overlap at times. Now once those eggs are fertilized, the female goes to work and she delicately creates a perfect nest chamber for her eggs. Reptile eggs are called clutches, so when you hear me say this clutch, that means the eggs that were laid by a specific female. So the female carefully sniffs out the perfect spot for her eggs, and then she carefully deposits them into the chamber. We then catch them and then incubate them artificially. So we place them into a home incubator that we have. After about 4 months, you'll see redfoot tortoises that are starting to hatch out. Now remember that reptiles are temperature-dependent sexes, so that means the temperature of the incubation determines sex ratio. We usually incubate for females, but this does fluctuate naturally. Here you can see a fresh hatchling from the first day that it's pipping out. So they use that little egg tooth that's on the edge of their nose to burst out of an egg, and usually they'll be in the ground, so this helps them to dig out from the ground as well. We like to help them a little bit if we see that they are starting to come out. We'll peel off a little bit. From this point, it's not really home free. You have to keep a very close eye on them because things can happen where unfortunately they can get caught in their egg or flip upside down, and this could potentially be fatal. Once they start pipping out, they might hang out in their egg for a day or two before climbing out completely. Once they do that, you can place them on wet paper towels, or we like to use Exoterra forest moss, and they're gonna hang out there for about a week. Now don't expect them to be very active. They're probably gonna bury themselves, and you just wanna keep them hydrated and check on them daily. Unlike mammals, reptile eggs do not have a placenta. They have a yolk sac that's attached to the egg, and that is how the tortoise is attached to the egg and how the tortoise grows. So once they hatch, they will have this little blob that's on their belly, and it's kind of like their belly button. This is basically a blob of nutrients that the tortoise gets while it's inside the egg, so when they first come out, it's going to be really large, and it is sensitive, so just be careful. But over the course of about a week, you'll see it really drastically change, and what's happening is that the baby tortoise is absorbing this blob of nutrients, and that's why typically the first week after they're hatched, they do not eat, and that's because they're absorbing this little blob. But we have had some eat even when they do have this, so that's pretty cool and shows that they're hungry and really strong, and that's great. Every tortoise, even if they hatched at the same time with their brothers and sisters, it's going to be at different levels of how they're absorbing this yolk sac, how big it is, and it's just individual to the animal as much as it's species specific as well. So during this time, just keep an extra eye on the tortoises because they are more delicate and more fragile at this time. You'll notice that their shells are a little bit soft and they're just more fragile, so we want to be extra careful. As I said before, it is very possible for the baby tortoises to start eating before that yolk sac is completely absorbed, and that's what you're seeing here with one of our babies that's deciding to eat for the very first time. This is a great sign that shows they are hungry, they're doing what they're supposed to, and this is pretty much going to be the theme for the rest of their life. Consistency is very important in the beginning, especially because tortoise shells are very thin and they're even a little bit soft to the touch. So we want to be consistent with feeding them. We want to be consistent with giving them daily soaks to keep them hydrated. This also helps them go to the bathroom, as you can see. And the result of that is a very strong tortoise that is well started. And this is typically when we like to send them to their new homes, once they've been well started and their shells are strong and the yolk, you can see, is completely absorbed. Remember, it's always species specific, but it's also individual to that specific animal as well. So they might be at different places with absorbing, but as long as it's within a week or two, then you're on your track to a very healthy and well started tortoise. Taking care of and breeding reptiles is something that we feel so grateful to be a part of, and we hope to make it better in any way possible. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you thought it was cute and maybe helpful, and I hope you enjoy the rest of these clips of our baby redfoot tortoises. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!